So you're getting ready to graduate, and you're looking ahead at the 2026 job market. You're probably hearing a ton of noise, right? Well, think of this as your playbook. We're going to cut right through all of that and give you a clear, step-by-step plan to build a career that doesn't just survive, but actually thrives.
Okay, let's be real for a second. When you see a question like this, how do you feel? Are you excited, or does it make your stomach do a little flip? You know, it's completely understandable. The world of work is changing so fast, and for someone just starting out, it can feel, well, a little overwhelming.
And let's not sugarcoat it. It is competitive out there, but that's not where the story ends. The great news, the really great news, is that with the right strategy, you can absolutely stand out from the crowd. And look, this isn't about getting lucky. It's about being smart, about having a solid plan, and that's exactly what we're going to build together today.
First things first. Before we get into any of the fancy stuff, we have to build a solid foundation. Seriously, think of this as the launch pad for your entire career. These are the 3 absolute non-negotiables that every single person starting out needs to have locked in.
So, what are these pillars? Well, as you can see, they cover 3 crucial areas: how the world sees you online, who you know, and what you can actually do. These aren't just buzzwords, okay? They all work together to build up who you are professionally and prove your value. Let's dig into each one.
Your online presence is basically your digital handshake. Look, having a professional LinkedIn profile, that's table stakes now. It's the bare minimum. To really stand out, you've got to show, not just tell. If you're a coder, get your projects up on GitHub. A designer, Behance is your spot. And a personal blog, that shows your thinking, that you have a point of view.
All right, pillar 2, networking. And I know what you might be thinking. Networking. But it's not about being that awkward person in the corner handing out resumes. It's about building real connections. Go to webinars, join some LinkedIn groups in your field, and just connect with people doing the jobs you think are cool. It's about getting on their radar way before you ever need to ask for something.
And that brings us to the third, and honestly the most critical pillar, getting real experience. And no, and this is super important, you don't need a full-time job to get it. Internships, volunteer work, small freelance gigs, it all adds up. The key is to work on real-world stuff that lets you build a portfolio. That portfolio becomes your proof that you can do the job.
Okay, so you've built your foundation. That's awesome. That's how you survive out there. But we're not aiming for survival, are we? We want to thrive. And this is where the game changes. This is where we shift from being just another person with a degree to becoming a specialist. This is all about the power of finding your niche.
Let's pause on this for a second, because the words here are so important. It says finding the right niche is crucial for a recession-proof and in-demand career. What does that mean? It means finding a sweet spot that keeps you safe when the economy gets shaky, but also makes you highly sought after when things are booming. That's the goal.
So how in the world do you find this right niche? Is it just guesswork? Nope, it's not about luck. It's about having a strategy. And what we have right here is a practical 5-step process that's going to take you from feeling overwhelmed with options to having a laser-sharp focus on a career that's built to last. Here's the roadmap. You can see the flow here, right? We start by looking inward at what makes you, you. Then we look outward at what the world needs, focusing on what's stable and what's growing. And finally, we bring in some outside wisdom to tie it all together. Let's break it down. And I'm going to say it. Step 1 is probably the most important of all. It has to start with you. Seriously, what gets you excited? What are you genuinely good at? Your perfect niche is right at that intersection of what you love to do and what you do well. Please don't skip the self-assessment.
Okay, once you've done that soul searching, it's time to look at the real world. And this chart, it basically screams where the action is right now. You've got technology, healthcare, renewable energy, all booming. And inside a huge sector like tech, we're talking about explosive growth in areas like AI, data science, and cybersecurity. Aligning your skills with one of these is like catching a massive tailwind for your career.
All right, now here's where we get really strategic. On top of a booming industry, you want to find one that's recession-proof. Think about it. No matter what the stock market is doing, people still get sick, right? We still need education. Our computers still need to work. Focusing on these essential services is how you build a stable career. This is where you play chess, not checkers. Don't just chase whatever's hot this year. You got to ask yourself, the stuff I'm learning right now, is it going to be even more valuable in 5 years, 10 years? That's how you really future-proof your career. And last but definitely not least, step 5. Don't go it alone. Think of a mentor as a cheat code for your career. Seriously, Their experience helps you avoid all the common mistakes and see opportunities you would have missed. You're basically learning from their journey to speed up your own.
Okay, wow. We have covered a ton of ground, from building your foundation to a 5-step strategy to find your niche. But here's the thing. All this information is useless if it just stays in your head. It's time to make a move. So, the big question is, what's your first one?
So let's boil it all down to this. I want you to really think about this question right now. What is one small, tangible thing you will do this week to move forward? Are you going to research one of those market trends? Finally update that LinkedIn profile? Maybe reach out to just one person who could be a mentor? Your career in 2026 doesn't start with some giant leap. It starts with that first single step. So what's it going to be?